If you've ever tried a diet for a week, you already know where things go wrong most of the time. It's usually not Monday to Thursday when you're in a routine. It's usually at the weekend that most people struggle. Their Friday nights out, their Saturdays and Sundays with nothing planned, and suddenly that perfect diet you followed all week gets absolutely steamrolled. That's the real enemy. Too much freedom without a plan always kills discipline. And that is exactly why intermittent fasting can be a total game changer for the weekends, social events, vacations, and even holidays. But see, most people do it wrong. Let's get something straight, because intermittent fasting is not magic. It does not supercharge your metabolism. It doesn't force your body into a secret fat burning state, and it doesn't somehow bypass the laws of calories in versus calories out. That's not what makes it powerful. What makes it powerful is how it changes the experience of dieting, how it lets you feel like you're not even dieting, even though you're in a pretty big calorie deficit. And if you've ever tried to lose weight, you know how important that is. So let me break it down why intermittent fasting works so well, even if the scientific studies show no magical effects, and more importantly, exactly how you can use it to survive the weekend without blowing up your diet. It's very simple, very effective, and I can almost guarantee you're not using it yet. And make sure you stick around, because I'm also going to show you my personal go-to meal for breaking a fast, the one that keeps me full, satisfied, and on track with less than 400 calories, so you can eat more during the rest of the day. And if you're tired of that cycle, the one where you crush your diet all week only to watch it fall apart during the weekend, this is the video you need. So let's start with some basics. Intermittent fasting doesn't burn more fat. It doesn't boost your metabolism in some crazy way, and it doesn't turn your body into a fat burning machine just because you skipped breakfast. Study after study has shown that total calories and total protein intake are what really matters when it comes to fat loss. It doesn't matter if you eat 6 small meals a day, 3 big ones, or even have 1 massive meal in the evening. As long as calories and protein are equated, the fat loss results are largely the same. So then, why does intermittent fasting work so well for so many people? It's because it changes the psychology of dieting. When you shrink the window where you're actually allowed to eat, you naturally eat fewer meals. And when you naturally eat fewer meals, you eat fewer calories without needing to track every crumb or even feel hungry all day. Because most diets fail for one simple reason: they feel fucking miserable. When you're constantly eating small and unsatisfying meals throughout the day, trying to spread 2,000 calories across 16 hours, you're basically living in a perpetual state of hunger. You never feel full, you're always thinking about food, and you're always aware of how much you're not eating. And eventually, that wear and tear adds up. You get tired, you get frustrated, you get sick of being hungry, and you break. That's the story for 99% of diets. But intermittent fasting helps you stay on track, because instead of nibbling all day, you hold the line until the afternoon, and then you get to actually eat real food and real meals. Big plates, meals that actually leave you feeling satisfied. Imagine the difference between eating sad little 250 calorie breakfasts versus a 700 calorie lunch that actually feels like a real meal. The same total calories at the end of the day, but with a completely different experience of hunger, satisfaction, and sanity. So here's exactly how I set things up, especially when the weekend rolls around and I know temptation is lurking. First things first, I'll fast until at least 1 p.m, getting some exercise done in the morning if I can. And sometimes even later, if I'm busy running errands, getting work done, I might not even eat until 2 or 3 p.m. And the first few hours of the morning are all about hydration. A big glass of water when I wake up, probably some black coffee, 2, maybe 3, more water, maybe a sparkling water if I want something with a little bite. Nothing crazy, just basic discipline to ride out those first few hunger waves. And here's the thing, the first hour of fasting is the hardest, but once you push through it, it gets way easier. And after a few days, your body stops expecting food first thing in the morning. Your hunger cues quieten down, and you settle into the calm, focused state that's actually pretty nice. When I do break my fast, I don't go crazy, and this is where most people mess up. They fast all morning and then eat some junk because they earned it. But your first meal should be strategic, and for me, that strategy is all about volume eating. An example would be an egg white and veggie omelette with a little parmesan on top. That might sound boring, but 6 to 8 egg whites is basically pure protein, and you can add in mushrooms, peppers, onions, zucchini, courgette, whatever you want to call it, whatever you've got in the fridge. Season it properly, salt, pepper, a little garlic powder or hot sauce. You're looking at a massive plate of food that clocks in way under 400 calories. And you feel like you just had a feast, but you've barely dented your daily calorie budget. That's the secret to surviving the weekend. Volume and satisfaction without calorie overload. Because If you start your eating window with a heavy carb and fat bomb, you'll have cravings all day. But if you start with clean protein, fiber, water-rich foods, you stabilize yourself and you buy yourself more room to enjoy real meals later. Now, one word of warning that I learned the hard way. Eating only egg whites can mess with your digestion because they're hard for our GI tract to break down and strip away the nutrients, whilst the yolk brings the fats and vitamins actually help your gut handle the whole thing. So one yolk might be a smart idea if you're noticing some bloating after your omelette. By the way, if you want my personal help so you can smash out your fitness goals in the next few months without turning your life upside down, click the first link in the description and book in a call. I'll show you exactly how I can help you in your specific scenario. Now, let's talk about the unsung hero of fasting, coffee. If you already love coffee, you're ahead of the game. If you don't, it might be time to develop a taste for it. You see, black coffee is a fasting superpower because it blunts hunger. It gives you a little dopamine bump and a little bit of energy, and it makes the fasting window feel 1,000 times easier. And not to mention, it's basically 0 calories. Just don't ruin it by loading it up on sugar, creamers, or healthy syrups. Just keep it black, maybe a splash of milk if you like that. And if you're not a coffee person, then grow up. I'm joking. Water becomes your best friend. It's just not as fun, but lots of it. And if you do like sparkling, even better. Ice and a slice of lemon. What a lean, distinguished gentleman. Hydration isn't sexy, but it's very effective at removing hunger and keeping your head clear. The mornings I stay fully hydrated and drink coffee are the mornings I barely even notice I'm fasting. And on top of that, fasting saves you from that food-induced carb coma, bloat, or brain fog. So if you have stuff to do, it's easier to lock in and not yawn your way through the first part of the day. However, fasting is great and all, but as you can probably relate, the biggest issue is eating out. Because it's one thing to survive your kitchen at home, it's another thing altogether to survive menus, peer pressure, appetizers, and drinks. So I like to follow a simple rule. I pick meals where I can see every ingredient, or at least most of them. If your food comes drowned in sauces and oils, it's impossible to stay on track. But if your food is a simple dish and you actually know what you're eating, it's much easier to guarantee you stay in a calorie deficit throughout the day and still feel full. You don't want to waste your calories on drinks and sauces, but instead real food that will keep you full and give you energy. It's never about being perfect. It's just about being smart and strategic. Because if you can navigate eating out by picking obvious single ingredient foods, you can keep your diet rolling no matter where you are. At the end of the day, everything we've talked about boils down to one thing: consistency. The best diet is the one you can actually stick to, not the one that just looks good on paper, not the one that gets you hyped for 2 days and then leaves you starving and miserable. Intermittent fasting is not magic, but it makes consistency so much easier because it makes dieting feel less like punishment and more like a lifestyle you can actually live with. And if you can make it through the weekends without messing up and without blowing out your progress, you're going to win. It's all about using the right tools to make sticking to the plan much, much easier and even enjoyable. So you don't spend 48 hours ruining your whole week's deficit and give yourself the dreaded, I'll start again Monday. If you just keep that consistent for 3 to 6 months and keep your calories low, you'll get better results than everyone else who starts and stops every single week. And intermittent fasting is a great tool to help you do that. And if you're looking at the calendar and thinking summer ain't that far away, check out this video, which will give you the full step-by-step process you need to get lean.